What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 89 of Next Gen News Week for the week of May 2nd. Happy birthday to my dad and my grandmother. Both their birthdays were today and yesterday. So happy birthday to everybody. And yeah, we're just going to get rolling. What's up?
What are the chances of that? Your dad and your grandmother
Opposite
have the
sides of
same
the family.
birthday.
Well,
Okay. My paternal, well, of course, it'd be my paternal father. My father and my paternal grandmother have the same birthday.
yep. Yeah, it's my dad, his birthday was yesterday, and my grandmother, who's no longer with us, but her birthday is today. So,
Ah,
yeah. Gotta shout out this family on the happy birthdays. But anyway, my name is Mitch. Joining me, as always, we have Richard in your top left
hello.
and Chase on the bottom.
Hello.
Um, Two announcements. One, we did launch our Facebook group last week. We're close to like 40 people in there, which we're gonna try to hit 40. And we're gonna keep going up from there. If you want to join, the link to that is in the description of this video. It's like the first thing in there. So make sure you click on that. Secondly, because schedules change all the time, this is actually going to be the last live episode for a while. After this, we'll be going to recording them throughout the week, and they'll be uploaded on Fridays. I haven't set a time for that yet. It'll probably be like noon-ish on Fridays. I'll have more to share about that, but that's just kind of how the schedules are going to line up going forward, give us some more free time to record episodes and work with schedules so we can get Michael and Steven and whoever on here. So, anyway, all that business side stuff out of the way. Let's talk about what we've been playing this week. And I know Switch Sports is in there somewhere, but if anyone else has anything else they would like to talk about, please share.
No. I've been playing No Man's Sky, like, religiously. I've almost got our podcast studio done. I'm excited to give the glyph coordinates to that.
Oh yeah,
you could put them on the Facebook group, and anybody that plays No Man's Sky can use the glyphs to warp to that planet.
Yeah, we're gonna start recording the shows live from No Man's Sky.
It's easy. It's easy to find. Once you go to the system, just look for the planet. The planet's called Next Gen News Week. I discovered the planet. I don't think there's another base on it. So just look for the podcast HQ. But it's not done yet. You can't do that yet. So, and then feel free to post your own building there. You know, we'll populate that whole damn planet.
There you go. Yeah, or just share your planets in the Facebook group. We'll come visit, or Richard and Michael might come visit. I don't play that game yet.
Oh, I will. Man, I'll play the hell out. I'll go see anything. Some guy built this massive stereo that you can walk inside, and it's got like this crazy ass beat to it. It's great.
That's interesting. What else have you been playing?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. I mean, I wanted to play more of the Switch Sports because it really is fun. It's an awesome game. My daughter's a little under the weather, so I haven't been playing it as much because I don't want to, she's been sick with a fever on the couch, and I don't want to be standing there, in front of her. So, she's coming out of it though. She's home from school today. I've got her posted on the couch again. So,
I think I can't remember if it was you or your wife posted on Facebook about how she like came home and she was like, "I'm done for the day," and like sat on a beanbag.
Yeah, see, at that moment, we didn't realize that she was actually getting sick. But that night, yeah, it kind of took hold.
Well, I hope she gets to feeling better. Play some Fortnite or something.
Oof.
Chase,
she might be doing that now.
What have you been playing, Chase?
So yeah, I finished up Ink and Fell. I absolutely loved it. There were some very unexpected twists in the story. The strategy and the time attacks felt so good. There's optional hidden boss fights that I found out about after the game.
No, that was it. That Ink and Fell. That's what I was asking you about.
Right. Let's see. Yeah. The writing, the music, everything about it. I really, really, really enjoyed this game. It's definitely going to be one of my top games of the year. I picked up a used copy of the new Smurfs game, Mission Violeve. And other than it being most of the nouns and verbs changed to Smurf, it's actually a fairly decent platformer. The game revolves around Gargamel getting a hold of a plant called the Violeve, which spreads corruption and contamination through the forest. And Brainy develops a tool that's essentially a pressure washer that cleans up all the contamination. And as you play, more areas become unlocked. You snag collectibles to upgrade your abilities like gliding and dashing. And the platinum requires you to beat the game on the hardest difficulty to clear all the contamination and get all the collectibles on every level. And for a kid's game, you'd think this would be easy, but since there's no map or any kind of a radar to tell you where those items are, you basically have to comb through all the levels to find everything. I did look up like a few guides, but like some of the guides were just like, "Oh, this is where this is," but they give no context of really where it's at.
Yeah. And you'll find this up over yonder.
Yeah, but if you're a 3D platform lover and don't mind getting smurfed around, this game is definitely worth checking out. I believe they are making 4 more games. I could have read that wrong after this. So
Jesus, they're taking the
Yeah.
James Cameron approach.
Yeah, but it was pretty fun. And then actually, I picked up I went on the PlayStation's $20 and under sale, and Golf Club Wasteland was I think $4. So I picked it up on the PlayStation side to try to get the platinum trophy, and I don't think I'm going to get it. I got all the other trophies other than one, and the last trophy requires you to beat all 35 holes consecutively while getting a par or less, not hitting any hazards. So I was like, I got about a third of the way through it, and I multiple times, and I just kind of like, all right, you know what, I'm going to move on because I have a lot of other games I need to play. But if you like relaxing games, you don't have to go for that. It's just a lot of fun to play.
So, question. So you said there's 35 holes, and so like if you mess up, do you have to start all the way back from the first hole, or can you?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
On the iron, there's an iron will challenge. It is basically you start from the very beginning. You have to get all the way to the end without. Yeah, you have to get a par or less, and you have to do it within. And you can't touch any hazards.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well,
so
best of luck.
That. Yeah, I think I'm past that. So. I actually I grabbed some physical copies of games from Red Art Games during their Easter sale, and I played Awesome Pea and its sequel. And it's basically like you're a little pea and you're jumping around collecting coins, and you have to in order to get a trophy, each level awards a trophy for collecting all the treasure on that level. The first one looks like a side by side comparison of a Game Boy game. Just that green, just all green. And the second one is a little more blue green, but looks a little more defined. The animation looks a lot better, and the platforming is a lot better in that one. I think the physical versions of these games were only released in Europe, but if you're looking for a digital version, I believe they're like $5 each. And you could always add them to your list and like pick it up whenever they go on sale. And lastly, I played Cathedral, which is a brand new retro-inspired Metrovania with like RPG elements. It's like I'm very early into the game. I'm just getting started. But your character does kind of look like Shovel Knight a lot. But you find coins and you find you're collecting coins to upgrade your armor and your stats and stuff. And if you die, you do lose I think 10% of your coins. But you can also upgrade that later on, and you can like if you like it'll reduce it to like 9% or 8% or whatever. But yeah, the boss fights have been really challenging so far, and I'm really just now getting out of the first area, so I'll have more talk about that next week.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have I'm continuing my journey through A Link to the Past. I'm averaging about one dungeon every 2 days because I play it for a day, try to get all the collectibles, and then I'll just take a day off from playing it. So I've done up to the 3rd dungeon in the Dark World. So like the where like the Master Sword is in like the Lost Woods, whatever dungeon's there.
Skull Dungeon.
Yes, it was very confusing because I didn't realize that the dungeon had like freaking 5 entrances to it, and it was just like I kept going in there. I was like, "What am I supposed to do?" And I need to just go look around, and I figured it out. I spent 45 minutes plus on the digging game to get the heart piece. I got mad because I got fed up with it. I was like, you know what? This game has not save states. You can rewind the game, right? So you can pretty much instead of having to pay lose, run off a screen and come back, I'll just um, pay, and then when I lose, I'll just rewind back to where I paid. Thinking that what would happen is that once you paid, the game would lock in where everything is. But instead, the game randomly generates things as you dig. So no matter how many times you backtrack, there's no way of figuring out where the heart piece is. You have to just like I got it down to okay. I can dig. I think it's like a 6x5 section in the 30 seconds, and I just kept digging that same section over and over and over again. And it literally took 45 minutes, and I finally got that stupid heart piece. And
Wow.
it's like, oh my god, man! I think I can't wait to finish this game because A Link to the Past is the only game I've played on the Super Nintendo Online thing. So I can't wait to see how long it's taken me to beat that game. Because like most Zelda games, I just breeze through them, and like this is like it's gonna take me longer to beat this game than it did Skyward Sword. I think like
Wow.
it's crazy, and I'm
Hmm.
enjoying exploring because I've never really explored this world before.
Hmm.
Um, Other than that, I played Switch Sports the other day, and then I bought my own copy and started it up this morning. And on my own profile, I am undefeated as of right now. So, um,
Nice.
been playing the hell out of some tennis and bowling, but yeah, I want to go back and play. I was actually talking about it in the Facebook group the other day. It's called Blossom Tales, the Sleeping King. Did you ever play that, Chase?
I have not. I've heard it was really good though.
Yeah. So I actually asked in the Facebook group, like, what is a game that doesn't have a sequel that you think deserves one? And I posted that, and then I found out like 2 days later that there actually is a sequel coming out. It's called the Minotaur Prince or something. Uh, but yeah, it was a Zelda like that came out like right whenever the Switch launched, and there wasn't like a 2D Zelda game on there, and it was only like $10, and it was a great little indie game because like I said, it's just like a Link to the Past, except that like it's like this told from the perspective of like a grandparent telling his kids a story, and so the grandpa is like narrating the game, and then sometimes he'll be like, oh yeah, and Blossom was attacked by these skeletons, and then you'll hear like it'll cut to like the kids sitting by their grandfather, and he's like, oh, I thought they were mummies. And he's like, oh, they could be mummies. And then like the enemies on the screen will turn into mummies instead of skeletons. Like it's just little cute shit like that
Oh, that's cool.
that happens throughout the whole game. So it was a great little $20 indie game. So I'm really excited for the second one because I think they've done a lot to improve over the first one. So we'll see. Sounds like fun. But all right, let's get into what the news is this week. We don't have a lot of gaming news. It was mostly movie news that came out this past week with stuff like I think there's a new Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and God, there was some.
No,
No, did I read that
no,
wrong?
no. You probably read it right, but it's wrong.
Okay. um,
There is no new Chippendales movie.
okay. And then there's they finally came out with the title for Avatar 2, which is dumber than just calling it Avatar 2. And there was something else.
Avatar, the second film.
No, it's called the Way of Water. Like just stop. Like it just
The
makes me
Way of Water.
yeah.
Wait, are you talking about Blue People Avatar?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that immediately made me think of like the other Avatar.
Yeah, no, like if
The
it
Way
was
of Water. I think about like a waterbender or something.
yeah, if it was that, totally into it. No, no, Blue People Avatar, The Way of Water. That's what it should be called, Blue People Avatar.
It's amazing that people still care about that because I know when it came out, like there was this huge, but it's been so long.
Yeah.
And there's been really nothing to kind of,
There was some journalists that made the comparison. They were talking about Switch Sports originally. They were like, it's going to be interesting to see if Nintendo Switch Sports can capture the same audience that the original Wii Sports did. Just because, like people literally, like old people would just buy Wii's just to play Wii Sports. And the Avatar kind of had that same thing. It was like one of the first, like, really good, like, real 3D movies. People really remember it for that, I think. And they're actually re-releasing or remastering the original Avatar, and it comes out like around the same time as the sequel. So everyone's like, I wonder if
Mm.
Avatar 2 is going to be able to have that capture people the way that the first one did. Which I remember getting that movie for Christmas, and I think I watched the first 30 minutes of it, and I was like, this movie fucking sucks. Just turned.
That was my take on it. I didn't even finish it, and I was just like, I'm so
Like
bored.
I never hear anyone talk about it, like movie quotes, anything from that movie. Like it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
No, like
it's almost like there's some unseen force that's like pushing the popularity, and it's not people.
it's James. It's gonna. It was like wasn't. I may be wrong, but wasn't Avatar like the next movie that James Cameron did after Titanic, or one of the next ones? Because I mean,
Titanic was good, except for
yeah,
the
it was too
stupid
long.
door fiasco.
The door fiasco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Dude,
you're
he could
talking.
have fit on that fucking door.
Oh,
Man.
that. Okay, yeah.
The door fiasco. Only fiasco from Titanic.
I was thinking
the
it
door.
had something to do with them. Like you were talking about, like them doors that were like locking people in like the bottom of the ship or something. I don't know. But it's been forever since I've watched
No.
Titanic. So, but yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but James Cameron takes forever to make movies, so it kind of the timeline kind of lines up between when Titanic came out, which I think was that 98 maybe, or was that earlier? Anyway, and then
Mm-hmm.
like Avatar came out in like 2006, so
Yeah.
it makes sense. And then all this time he's been working on Avatar 2, and I hope it sucks so bad that they don't even release another one.
Wow, all this time? 2006. Wow.
Yeah, he's been working on it for 16 plus years.
That's crazy.
And he's apparently filmed like all the stuff for like all 4 of the next Avatar movies, and it's gonna release one like every year for the next 4 years or something. Stupid. Anyway, gaming news. Let's talk about Sony and their new PlayStation Plus membership, because they have stopped people from stacking their PS Plus and PS Now subscriptions to get several years of new PlayStation Plus. Chase, you were personally affected by this, weren't you? Because you were stacking stuff, right?
Well, I did like I've got PS Plus until I think in April of next year, and then I have the PS Now until December of next year. But what they said was, if you own both services, whenever the services combine, it will extend to the longest amount of your services. So what people were doing is like, you buy, if you have like extended PS Plus, like, years of that, and you just add PS Now to when it when it merges, then you would get the full the premium membership of the entire thing until whenever. So that's what people were using, another loophole to get that. So yeah, so I'm good until I think December of next year. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why they did it, because they're going to be losing money, but yeah, that's what was going on.
People exploiting the hell out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the official quote from them says, as we prepare to launch the new PlayStation Plus membership service, we are doing some work behind the scenes to make the transition as smooth as possible for all of our existing members. As part of this work, we've temporarily disabled stacking memberships for existing customers until after the launch. So you could be a new customer and stack it, just not an existing customer of PlayStation, I guess. Yeah. They also came out and said that they are requiring developers to create 2-hour long game trials if their games are over $34, which is kind of interesting. But at the same time, like, I feel
It's
like
not.
some people, people talk about how this is just going to make like they're going to have to spend more time in development because they're going to have to work on creating these 2-hour sectioned off demos where people can't like data mine all the stuff out of them. And all
It's
that
a
crap.
bad move. It really. I mean, this is a very very Nintendo like move. It's like they announce something that sounds awesome, but then they worry about how they're going to do it after they announce it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do something like this and then spring it on the developers. Oh, by the way, we made this promise, and now you're going to have to make good on it for us.
Yeah. So this policy does not apply retroactively, and it does not apply to PSVR games. So that's nice. But most PSVR games are not over $20. So
yeah, well, they're also not over like 15 minutes either.
I mean, even if I had a 15-minute demo of Super Hot, I could probably get at least 4 hours worth of play out of that. So, but I think these are timed demos, right? So like once you start them up, like you play until it's over, and then you don't get to play it again. So
yeah.
Yeah, developers have up to 3 months from the release of their games to put out a time trial, and they are required to be available on PlayStation subscription service at a minimum of 12 months. So that's, I don't know. It seems like I said, it's bad for the game developers because they're going to have to make these branched off demos. Um, I don't know a good PlayStation reference point, but the only reference point I can think of is what happens with Pokemon. Because when they used to put out demos, people would data mine the entire game, and then they would leak the entire Pokédex online 2 months in advance, and it would just be sheer chaos. And I'm sure the next Tim or something will have data mining issues or something. I don't know. Or people find art assets for Joel because he's somehow in The Last of Us 3. You only find out through the demo or something stupid like that. But I don't know. I agree with Richard. It doesn't really seem like it's the best practice.
No, it's not a good plan.
Yeah. Our next headline is it's actually just a JPEG, and it's the letter M with the letter W next to it, but it's got a green number 2 built into it, and that's because Infinity Ward has officially announced Modern Warfare 2. That's it. Like, there's no gameplay, no information, just a logo and the hashtag Modern Warfare 2, and it's coming out this year, and that's it. And I won't spend a lot of time talking about it because I know neither one of you play Call of Duty. If Steven was here, we might be able to make
Well,
something
what would
work.
you say about it?
I don't know.
What a nice logo.
Isn't
this like Modern Warfare 2? Isn't there? So is this a remaster, or are they just?
So 2019's Modern Warfare was a reboot of Modern Warfare. So this is a sequel to the reboot.
Oh, this is a sequel to the reboot. Okay.
But okay, here's something interesting, and I'm sure everyone
this
remembers
naming
this.
convention is very Microsoft-like.
I saw something. I think it was an article Kotaku put out, and it was Call of Duty announces its 47th Call of Duty game, and this is the 10th Modern Warfare, but it's called Modern Warfare 2. It's just like, okay,
yeah, that's I don't understand this. I'll pick on Microsoft, man. It's like, it's their next console will be like Xbox One also. I don't.
This game caused a lot of controversy in the day because the first mission of the campaign, I believe, is you playing as Russians going through an airport, and you just slaughter everybody in the airport. And one, I don't think that would go over well today. And two,
yeah, let's say that didn't age well.
And I believe I got that right. I don't think it's Americans slaughtering people in an airport. That sounds like us, but also doesn't sound like us. But I don't know. I don't think that'll be in the sequel. Just gonna put that out there. If it is, I'd be shocked if it was. So,
well, why aren't they gonna delay it?
Why aren't they?
Yeah. Why aren't we delaying all war games? I thought that's what we do, Nintendo.
Yeah, no, that's just a Nintendo thing.
Even if they're cute, cartoony, far from fucking reality, we delay them.
No, that's just that's just a advanced
feelings.
This way, it'll come out in like December or something. Or maybe it
I
comes out
want
right
them
after
to just
E3.
tell me it's not done. Just tell me it's not done.
It
I'll
is
feel
done
better
though.
about it.
It is done. That one dude
Well,
got to
then
get
they're
on
fucking stupid, Mitch. They're stupid.
because that one dude was able to access the entire game on the eShop and he played it. Like
That one guy.
that one dude. It's
I mean, under the assumption that somebody's going to be playing that and they're going to be like, you know what? I can't do this. I feel so bad for the Ukrainians. And I'm not making light of that situation, but, you know, I usually don't think about real world stuff when I'm playing a game
I
or
try
how
not
it
to.
relates.
I mean, unless it's like a game that's based on real world events, it's kind of hard to make that comparison. Like
Yeah.
even Call of Duty for the most part, like I mean, yeah, it might be backed around like a certain war or something, but like all the stories they tell are not real stories. This Modern Warfare 2 is supposed to be about like the drug cartels or something. Um, but like even Vanguard, which was like that was World War II. Like none of the like you didn't go kill Hitler or anything in that. Like, there's no real world people other than just
Dude,
Nazi Germany. But
they should make a Call of Duty where you have to hunt down and kill kaijus. That would be awesome.
so in Vanguard Season 3, which just launched, they are doing a world event based off of Godzilla versus Kong on
Ah,
Warzone. So they on the map that they have now, they showed like the map and it panned out, and you just see Godzilla swimming in the water towards the island. So like
that's pretty badass.
there's about to
I
be a
would
world
play a
event
Call of Duty.
where yeah, I don't know when it comes out, but I mean Warzone's free, so you could fire it up and watch Godzilla versus Kong fight it out above you while you're shooting other people.
Yeah, see, that would be cool. I like
So
that idea. I'm glad I thought of it and they could implement it before I had the idea.
there was I try not to put a lot of Call of Duty related stuff in the news because like we don't really talk about it a lot. I actually like what they're starting to do because they just put a new anti cheat into Warzone, and the way it works is they catch people cheating. It will make it to where the cheaters aren't able to see other players, but the other players can see the cheaters, so they can kill them, but the cheaters can't kill you when you play Warzone, which I think is pretty interesting.
Mhm.
It's like a
They should
this.
make a controller that just breaks their thumbs.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that would be a deterrent. I guarantee it.
this is it. Yeah, the thumbsticks just explode. Did you see that dude that took that Fisher Price controller and he beat Elden Ring with it?
Yes.
Wow.
He made a functioning controller out of it on PC and beat Elden Ring with the Fisher Price controller. I think that's so funny. Um, speaking of Xbox, or we're not speaking of bad transition, bad Mitch. Anyway, Xbox, Richard's least hated or least favorite place.
I did bring it up a while ago,
Yeah,
so
yeah. So his least favorite game company out there has announced their summer showcase, which is going to be on June 12th. It's not called the Xbox and Bethesda and Activision game showcase. That's not till next year. This is just the Xbox and Bethesda game showcase, but it's going to be June 12th at 10 a.m. God, I can't read. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So for us, it'd be at 12 p.m. They are going to have over an hour worth of new announcements and gameplay trailers, and hopefully actual gameplay and not just CG trailers because they are notorious.
new announcements on old shit or new announcements on new shit and not referencing the old shit that still hasn't been released yet.
Hopefully both. Hopefully both.
Yeah.
So what we know will probably the only thing we know is going to be there is Starfield because their whole little picture that they put out it is literally the background for Starfield, except it's just got the Xbox logo in front of it of the logo for Starfield.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like that logo that had like that planet and then like Todd Howard in that throne like floating above it, and then I thought that was the logo.
No, no. I wish that'd be
The
fun.
only way to make him look like a big person.
Yeah, he's a little tiny man. Um, The only thing else that I think will probably that I know will be there is Redfall, because that's supposed to come out over the summer unless it got delayed, which I could see because we haven't heard from Redfall since last year's summer showcase.
Never even heard of Redfall,
It's like their
or maybe I have, and I
looter
just
shooter vampire game. It's like Borderlands with
I
vampires.
think there was a new trailer for it that popped up.
oh wait, now there's some recollection there.
Girl with the afro. That's like the only thing I remember about it was there was a chick with an afro and vampires. And
I remember it.
there was some like leaked gameplay that came out a few months ago or something where people were like, "Yeah, it looks really fun, but when is it going to come out?" But
Hmm.
it's being developed by Arcane, which Arcane, yeah, they just did Deathloop, so they've been working on this game also, which I thought the combat in Deathloop was amazing. So if any of that makes its way into Redfall, I'm
Comes
here
out
for that.
alongside Bloodlines 2.
Hmm.
Maybe that game showed up at a Xbox showcase in 2020, so I'm gonna do some research and try to figure out what happened with that game, just for Richard, because I'm interested
Bloodlines
also.
2.
Yeah,
It's that we talked about last. It's that Mandela effect.
everybody forgot
It,
about
it,
it.
it does. It ever forgot about it. It doesn't exist in
Hmm.
this reality.
They're just gonna announce Bloodlines 3, and everyone's gonna be like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, they did that with I don't know the Leisure Suit Larry games back in the '90s. There was not a four. Well, there claimed to be a fourth one, but it's nowhere to be found. They just went from 3 to 5. Yep,
Huh? Interesting.
true story.
it didn't make the transition whenever the world ended in 2012 and we went to a new reality. So
Right.
somehow
That's what it was,
the
man.
only thing that got left behind was Leisure Suit Larry 4. That was the only thing that got left behind. Uh, Other stuff that they have in development that may be there: Hellblade 2, State of Decay 3, Perfect Darks reboot, the Fable reboot, Avowed, uh, Forza Motorsport 8, Machine Games is Indiana Jones game. Uh, I don't think we'll ever see Elder Scrolls 6. So, uh,
Yeah, I read something recently. They've got like a 2025, 2026 kind of
Mm,
tentative release schedule on that.
okay.
yeah.
I mean, good for them.
And there's also
Years from now, but
Yeah.
there's also rumors that they are going to do a either or both the Fallout and Elder Scrolls, like the older games, as like our remaster. And there's also been talks of a Quake reboot.
I thought the Quake reboot already existed.
Mm.
Huh.
So I wonder how they would do the Fallout because the first two games of the series are vastly different than the next. Was it 3 Fallout 3 4?
Yeah.
No, just
Mhm.
2. So there's only 4. New Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Be interesting. We're also about to hit the 1 year exclusivity deal being over with Deathloop, so that's probably coming out at some point this year on Xbox. Uh, and then in March, Tokyo Ghostwire Tokyo. I cannot talk to me. Ghostwire Tokyo will be coming out some point soon out as well, and that's all we know about. Well, I know that the what is God who is I can't think of the name of the studio. The studio that does Gears of War. They have said that they are still working on optimizing Gears 5 and working on stuff for that. So Gears of War 6 will not be announced this year. So that will probably be coming out. I'd say probably next year or something like that. Um, so sorry, David, you're the only person I know that plays Gears of War still. Even though I want to get back into them, but I just won't ever have time to do it. They also last year announced, is it a Plague Tale 2? Plague Tale
Hmm.
Requiem? That was
Yeah,
at
I
their
remember that.
showcase last year. Not an Xbox exclusive, but we might get a new look at that. Um, Only reason why I remembered that is because I'm working on a project and I needed trailers, and it was one of them. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that game. So anyway, that's coming. And that's all stuff we probably know about. Give me a new Banjo Kazooie, you assholes. Um, or now that Double Fine's not working on Psychonauts anymore, do a sequel to Brutal Legend, you cowards. Just
Yeah.
give me what I want. I'll pay $100 for it, I promise.
Well,
I might. I'll pay $100 for it. Richard will pay regular
I'll
price.
pay
He'll get it
the
on Game
Game
Pass.
Pass.
Yeah, he'll get it on Game Pass. We'll do it that way. And some point along the way, I'm sure that Xbox will also announce that they're going to try to take Grand Theft Auto away from Rockstar or something. So maybe we'll hear about that finally. Speaking of acquisitions, though, we woke up to Chase knew about it last night. I woke up to it this morning. Embracer Group has decided they're going to acquire Eidos Montreal, Crystal Dynamics, and the Square Enix's Montreal studio for 300 million big ones, which is not a lot of money compared to Microsoft paying $67 billion for Activision Blizzard, and who was the other one? Take-Two paid like $12 billion for some mobile company. It's chump change.
Was it Zynga they bought or something?
No, Zynga is with. No, yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, it was Zynga because King is the one that's with Activision. I got them mixed up. So anyway, this is chump change, but they did get a lot of really good IPs with this, including the IP for Tomb Raider, which they just announced a new Tomb Raider game, I think, a few weeks ago. Deus Ex Thief, Legacy of Kain, and plenty more. You guys were talking about Legacy of Kain this morning or last night. I want them to bring that back. So it's important that I guess that they mentioned Legacy of Kain in the list of things that they have got.
We could also get Sleepy Dogs, too.
Yeah.
That's true. That is part of the Montreal, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's weird is they're the ones also working on the James Bond game, the 007. Because that's the Hitman studio.
Yep. So, yeah, they have the acquisition includes roughly 1,100 employees across 3 studios and 8 global locations. If the deal goes through, it will be during Q2 of Embracer's financial year. So, end of.
And then Sony will buy Embracer.
Well, so we were talking this morning about how kind of maybe that they sold off their Montreal studio to Embracer because they're going to sell their Japan studio to Sony, and then that other thing came out about how Square sold off their Montreal studios because they wanted to invest in blockchains and NFTs.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's just you're going about this the wrong way. Yeah, but it's kind of nice because Embracer Group, like, they don't have a console affiliation. They kind of just put everything wherever it'll go, which means you won't have to worry about like Tomb Raider being like an Xbox exclusive or a PlayStation exclusive. The same with like in the future like Hitman or anything like that. You're not going to have to ask those questions like, well, okay, with like Activision, is Call of Duty going to be an Xbox exclusive and stuff like that. You don't have to ask those questions anymore with all of this stuff. Everything seems, unless something happens and someone buys Embracer, which I doubt.
I don't. Square to me is not as that. At least in my eyes, they're losing clout. To me,
yeah.
Simply because Final Fantasy 15 was good, but 16, I don't know when that's coming. It's been a long time since 15, and I do know that games take long to develop. But then you got like the Final Fantasy 7 remake, and they got that first portion. We don't know. I'm gonna be 40 years old this summer. I'm not gonna live forever. And as far as these timetables go, I would like to at least finish their Final Fantasy 7 remake before I'm of retirement age. I don't know how realistic that is, and I'm not making a joke. I'm being serious. I really don't know. I don't know. Square just, what are they doing?
They have too many games in development, I feel like. I don't know how many people work for them. They may have 10,000 people themselves. I don't know. But if you think about it, like they have Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16. They God, they're still working on Final Fantasy 14 because that's the MMO. They have that Val what is that Valkyrie Elysium game that they just announced. They
Hmm.
have Dragon
Oh
Quest
yeah.
12 in development. Uh, they have a lot of stuff, and I don't know how many
Yeah, there's a
games that they have, but they are constantly working on. So they have that Live Alive, which I know it's just like a SNES port coming to the Switch, but that's like the only Square game I'm actually interested in. And they just shipped Triangle Strategy a few months ago. So I mean they've got their hands full with a lot of stuff. So I mean
hmm
if they would just, I think they should do take like Bethesda is not the mark anyone should want to be at because they only work on like a Fallout game and then a Skyrim game and then I guess Starfield now. But like I think that they should at least get their Final Fantasy team and their Dragon Quest team on a schedule where they all work on one game and then they go to the next one to just push development like that. But at least for those two, because those are like two of their biggest hitting franchises, and then let
Yeah.
their small teams take care of the other stuff. Um,
hmm
I don't know. It's just I'm not a game developer. I'm not into this, so I mean, like, just don't take my word for it. That's just what I would do.
And then their last, I mean, there's some of those games recently they just did not meet expectations, like the Avengers game. They said the Guardians of the Galaxy games didn't hit expectations, even though that game was incredible.
Well,
And then like Ball in Wonderland or World or whatever.
I don't know about Ballon Wonderworld, which we'll talk about again in a minute, but with Guardians of the Galaxy and um, Avengers, those were actually from the studios that got sold off to Embracer.
Hmm.
So Crystal Dynamics did the Avengers game, and Eidos Montreal did Guardians of the Galaxy. So maybe they were like, well, these games didn't meet expectations, so we're just going to get rid of the studios and get rid of
I
them.
Maybe.
didn't, with the Marvel game, I just didn't like how it just like it felt like a Fortnite style storefront type. I felt like I was playing like a live service game, and that's not really what I was wanting out of a
Yeah.
Marvel game. So
Mhm.
I think, I mean, I love the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Like, I hate that it didn't sell to their expectations. I thought that game was incredible.
The game was a lot of fun.
Um, and I hope we get a sequel out of it. So, I mean, in the future.
Hmm.
Um, Balan Wonderworld, though, like, oh my God, like, that game was.
Did either of you guys play that, or was it just me?
I played a demo.
Okay.
As a demo, I don't. I mean, as a kids game, I don't.
Yeah.
It seemed okay.
I watched a supercut of one of my favorite YouTubers playing it. He's like, I played Balan Wonderworld, so you wouldn't have to. It's like, thank you so much. Like, just that's all I needed. Yeah, I guess we'll just get into it. So, yeah, the creator of Balan Wonderworld, Yuji Naka, world famous developer, not on the same level as like Miyamoto or something, but he is the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog. So he has a lot of clout in the gaming industry. And he also was involved in some other really big, yeah, Fantasy Star Online, Nights into Dreams. He was the developer who started Balan Wonderworld. Um, and then unfortunately, this all came out. He just dumped. I guess his NDA just got torn to shreds, and he decided to let the internet have it. With everything that happened between him and Square Enix and the fallout of Balan Wonderworld, uh, he kind of got Hideo Kojima a little bit. He was working on this game, and then like halfway through development, they kind of kicked him off of the project, and made him sign an NDA so he couldn't talk about what happened. And then Balan Wonderworld came out. It was unfinished, according to him, and full of bugs. And he ended up taking Square to court
Mm.
over the condition of Balan Wonderworld. And I don't think they're actually the settlement's not like really talked about. It just I think he's just allowed to talk about what happened now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like he was upset because like he couldn't. People were attacking him on Twitter saying, "Dude, this game is dog shit," and can't believe that you thought this was a good game, and he couldn't like talk back, say, "I
Yeah.
didn't do this. Like this is not me anymore. They
Hmm.
kicked me off of it." And it really came down to them wanting to rush the game out, and they had a release date. They didn't want to delay it, and we got what we got. And from what and it, I haven't personally played it, but from what I understand, it is just a terrible ass game. It's got a following that people really appreciate it, and I'm sure more people like I appreciate it more. I'm not gonna play it, but I have sympathy for the game, I guess, knowing what happened to it. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. What do y'all think about this? Do you think that I mean, it seems like it's what happened with Hideo Kojima, where they kicked him off of Metal Gear like halfway through it, or what was it, Metal Gear Solid 5? And then that game ended up being terrible. Like, I don't know. How do you feel about this, Chase?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, it was weird because I was reading the the statement, and he was like, I can't even like tweets about this.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't do anything until this NDA is over. It's just crazy because I mean, I played and beat the game, and I felt like overall, like the game is okay. I mean, it's just how it functions is kind of weird. I mean, it could have been done and put out and been a whole lot better. I remember watching this interview about one of these bigger developers, and he's like, the game that ships is not the game that you were wanting to make. This is there's timelines, there's limits to what you can put in a game and stuff like that. So I mean, but it is. I mean, it's just so weird that they just booted him off his project, which is and then they released the game, which was broken. So
The thing that I guess it doesn't really make sense to me, and I may just be not well informed on it, but like Square was just like they weren't they weren't using like their studio for this game. They were just the publisher, I thought, of Balan Wonderworld, and Yuji Naka's team of people were the ones making it. So I mean, I thought like if they're just the publisher, they don't have creative control over the game. Like they are just in charge of. I guess they are in charge of when it's coming out. So they can issue like, hey, you guys need to get this game done. But like they shouldn't have the ability to kick the producer of the game off of the game. Like
right.
I could be wrong. That's just the way I understand it. So yeah. Anyway, this is there's two quotes from Yuji Naka. I'm gonna just read real quick. The first one was um, it was talking about there's tensions between him and this other guy that were on there. He says, I believe that games should be made by working hard until the very end, until it's a good game that the team thinks their fans enjoy when we buy it. Which, I mean, it's just in regards to how the game, they just kind of stopped. Like, it wasn't finished. And he ended up calling out Square Enix and saying, where's it at? He's like, he calls them no good. He's like, Square Enix is no good. Like, it's just. Yeah, and there was some other part about how they didn't want to release the original score for the game, and they had like the music recomposed by some YouTuber or something. Like what the hell? Anyway, my point with, I mean, I think that it's worth putting out here that one, we have not heard Square Enix's side of this. It is currently a one-sided argument. I know some outlets have gone after trying to get a statement from them. I don't think that there's, if he's, I mean, everything he says is to the point. I think that it just shows how Square Enix kind of sucks. And they're the company, as Richard said, they're just kind of, they're not what they used to be, and they're kind of just, sucking. So
there's got to be, I think we're probably missing like a cultural piece of the puzzle here. Because when I try and translate it into like white America, I think about like a studio that would hire on someone like Steven Spielberg or Martin Scorsese to do a picture, and these are I think comparatively, because you think of Hideo Kojima and what he's done, and I'm drawing a blank on this guy's name, but he created Sonic. I mean, obviously he's he's not just, blowing smoke. So you have somebody like, a Steven Spielberg or a Martin Scorsese, and, they make blockbuster films. I mean, they don't do poorly. So halfway through production, you just decide to pull them. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever, unless there's just some component that's missing, that, maybe the Japanese culture just doesn't like recognize that sort of thing, or they don't put enough value on that sort of thing, or, and I'm not saying this is fact, there's some sort of like a diva complex that maybe we don't see that Hideo Kojima and this guy has, where, you can't tell me what to do. Do you know who I am? I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems odd to me that this sort of thing happens with someone with such renown.
Like, can you imagine if someone tried to kick Shigeru Miyamoto off of a Mario project?
Yeah, see, like something like that, But it seems to happen though.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, think about what happened to they kicked Hideo Kojima off of who was he? Konami. And he founded Kojima Productions, and he's making well for himself. So maybe there's going to be.
Dude, they got rid of the Castlevania guy. They got rid of the Mega Man guy. Of course, now what they've done afterwards, you kind of think,
yeah.
Well,
but who knows? Maybe this is Yuji Naka. He was quoted saying that he might end up giving up on game development for good after this. But who knows? Maybe since I don't know how Balan Wonderworld falls into like licensing and stuff, but maybe there's a chance that this isn't the end of that game, and he's able to just be completely independent, and he makes a sequel, or he fixes it, or how.
Just make it good. Don't make Mighty Number 9.
Yeah,
which is so weird to me, because I've talked about 20XX. And how good that is.
Mm-hmm.
That's multi-platform. There's also another, and this may be multi-platform too. It's called Metagal.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just released a sequel. I think it's called Metaloid or something like that. And they do enormously well. Huge ratings. As far as like your audience score, everybody loves them. And it's classic Mega Man gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why, as a developer, it's still popular. Other people are copying what you did 20 years ago, and they're making money off of it. You just decide not to, even though you own the IP that started it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense to me.
I don't know. I'm sure that this isn't the last we'll be hearing about all this. But I mean, Square actually, they've been in the news a lot in the past couple of days with all this crap going on. So, I'm sure there'll be more stuff that comes out about this, or just in general with them, and we'll be able to probably talk revisiting next week.
It's all a ploy by Sony to drive down the value of Square so they can purchase.
Look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, how are we going to do this? We can't do sexual harassment. Activision just did that. Nintendo's apparently got their own little sexual harassment crap going on too. So maybe somebody's getting ready to buy them. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
It's all over the place. It sucks. Anyway,
Bill Murray's got a sexual thing against him now.
Oh Jesus!
Which he owned it though. He said that he made a joke that wasn't taken well, and he was wrong.
Well,
and they're trying to mediate it right now, and
that's not the worst it could be. It could be. I remember I kind of forgot about all of this until recently, but they were talking about that '90s show coming out soon on Netflix, and how all of the original cast was going to be there except for Danny Masterson. Because of all of his stuff, and I was like, oh man, I forgot that he got in trouble for all that crap too. A lot of actors from that I remember I kind of grew up with that are like in the hot water right now because of that stuff. So
I'll tell you what pisses me off about that though, because they're gonna have to fix that somehow. he's either going to be dead or in prison. And, Danny Masterson may be a scumbag. I don't know. Trial's not started yet. I've not seen evidence. I know people have come out, but with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, I don't think anybody should be so quick to, jump into accusations. However, that's a real life person with real life problems that has absolutely nothing to do with the fictional character of Stephen Hyde, who is probably my favorite character in that whole show.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that because of the actions of the actor that portrayed him, the character is going to probably suffer.
So do you think that they should recast Hyde for the
I mean, it would be as much as I don't like recasting people like that, I would rather see a recast than I would just completely axing his character.
I mean,
I love Stephen Hyde. He was awesome.
They recast. I mean, it was different circumstances, but Eric's sister, they recast her after like the third season because the actress died. So, I mean, the show's not estranged from having recast.
If you go to like some of the flashbacks from that 70s show when they're sitting in a circle, there was actors then that portrayed like a Stephen Hyde that was maybe like a year or two younger than he was on the show. I don't know. That guy, I think he did the Halloween Town movies on Disney. I mean, he probably doesn't have a whole lot going on. I mean, they could approach him and be like, hey, do you want to be Stephen Hyde again?
Yeah.
I just think there's ways around it and not like completely destroying a character because and maybe it's stupid just to care about a fictional character to this extent, but kind of, I don't know, it's shitty.
Maybe they pull the Roseanne Barr trick where they just kill her off season.
Oh, see, yeah, that's another thing. I really liked Roseanne. Roseanne is not the actress that she kind of is, but I don't know. I hate when fictional characters pay the price for the misdeeds of the people that portray them.
Yeah, I understand. It's unfortunate. I guess that we're out of gaming news. There's no trivia this week. Do you guys want to talk real quick about any shows you're watching that you would like to share with everyone before we wrap things up? I know Chase doesn't watch television.
Disney announced they're doing Tales of the Jedi. That should be pretty good. They're really banking on this whole Star Wars thing on their streaming service.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure it's going to make them an ass load of money.
It is, but man, what is that? And gosh, I'm not trying to make this political, but like the whole thing in Florida with the governor and Disney and how he's passed that law and kind of ostracized Disney and all that, which is kind of ridiculous because in Florida, the governors, you can only serve 2 terms and then you're done. You can't keep being so he's in his second term. He's almost out. I'm sure whoever, and you may agree with me, may not. I don't care about that. My point is he's about to be out. Whoever takes his place can just be like, Disney, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
And this whole thing will be over. So I don't know. I think, I know Disney's stock price has taken a hit. So buy, because I guarantee you Disney will come out on top in this situation.
Yep. If you're a fan of sci-fi stuff, Stranger Things season 4 picks up at the end of this month. I'm in the process of re-binging the entire show right now. I'm just now starting season 3. The show is so good. My girlfriend's like, I don't understand this show. And I was like, this show is amazing. What are you talking about?
It's funny because I saw a list of shows that Netflix had canceled, and they listed Stranger Things as a canceled show. And in the little fine print underneath it, it said, canceled after 5th season TBD. Yeah. Which is funny because it was only written to go 5 seasons. So I don't really think you can call that a cancellation.
Yeah, they have always said that the show is going to go for 5 seasons. They've confirmed that it's the next season's the last one. But it's crazy because, the show has been 10 episodes long, about an hour long an episode. And this season, they're splitting it in half. So it's the first 5, and then there's like a 6-week break, and then there's the second half. But all the episodes are 2 hours long. So you're getting 20 episodes worth of content in this one season.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're doing the same thing for the next season, too, supposedly. So you still got 40 I guess close to 40 episodes worth of stuff to watch still.
2 hour.
Yeah.
I love Stranger Things. I don't love that.
I don't know.
I mean,
we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But
I mean, a show is meant to be bitten off in little pieces and digestible. That's like watching
a feature length
film. Movie series that's just all
I would imagine. I mean, whenever shows say they're an hour long, they're actually only like 45 minutes long. Because even stuff like Netflix doesn't have ads, but their hour-long shows are still 45 minutes. So I would imagine.
Well, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I would imagine that the episodes are actually like an hour and a half. I would imagine, or an hour 80 minutes or something. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited either way because that means I've got things to watch other than whatever reality dumpster garbage my girlfriend wants to watch because she just watched. They put out a new season of her real estate drama bullshit show, and she watched all of it in 2 days. And then we went to go see Alex and his fiance yesterday, and then those two talked about that show for fucking ever. Don't get me wrong, like I watched it with her. I understand what's happening. I engage with the show, but I'm not into it like they are. Like they sit there and break down like the drama and the bullshit, and I'm like, wow, that asshole that just sold that $15 million home, he probably just moved to Tennessee and just bought 4 houses and is leasing out 3 of them, and that's why I can't buy a house. Just where we're at with it at this point. So, don't watch Selling Sunset. Watch Stranger Things and get a VPN.
I thought it was called Real Estate Drama Bullshit Show. I actually like that title.
I like what was it? South Park came out with an episode that they were talking about like the home renovation shit, and that the shows that these people were watching was called White People Renovating Houses, and it was like, yeah, it's perfect. perfect show. All right, we'll go ahead and start wrapping things up. So, Richard, you're still in the doghouse. So.
I am in jail. Yeah, so I have nothing to plug just yet.
You can't even get on your Instagram, can you?
I can, but it creates this weird, like, you know, because it won't post to Facebook like it's supposed to, and then if I post to Instagram, then I've got to like backlog on Facebook, and it's no. I'm just not gonna. I'll wait until my time is up and Mark lets me back out.
When's your
sentence
up?
If he does. I don't know. It should be like 18, 19 days now. So
I was like, I feel like this is the third week you've been in jail. So
is it? Well, maybe it's sooner than that. I don't know. It was a 30 day. It was 30 days. So well, no, it'd be about halfway through. It'd be about 3, 5, 10, 15. Yeah.
It was 30 days until you told Facebook support to suck your dick. So I mean.
Well, I don't know, you know, because here's the thing about the appeal board. They don't read all cases. I'm just hoping they read mine. We'll know. Look, if I get reinstated at the end of 30 days, they just completely deleted mine. They didn't even open it. So if I'm permanently banned, I'll have more respect. I'll be like, they do read.
There you go. Chase, anything to plug this week?
Yeah, check out the $20 and under sale on a PlayStation. I think there's some pretty cool games on there. I made like a little small list, like Bound, Carto is on there, Unfinished Swan. Last Day of June is super good, very sad game if you ever played it. Caves in the Wild Mask, Golf Club Wasteland, Project Warlock, Unravel. Those are like probably my top ones. And then if you've got a few extra dollars to spare, My Name is Mayo 1 and 2 and Mr. Masashi I believe are also on sale this week or through that sale. So yeah, check those out.
Only play Last Day of June if like you're in a really good place in your life. Yeah. And everything's happy. And you need to be let down.
Really?
That's like
I love a good story.
No, it's a great story, but it
is a great story, man. But I mean, it's, you know, me and Chase can just come to your house and beat you up if you want to.
Yeah,
if you want to feel bad.
Yeah,
that's like man. I just I saw a clip. It was films that you're not the same after you watched, and I watched a synopsis for an anime called Grave of the Fireflies or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just the synopsis, I was like ugly crying.
Dang.
I don't understand why people. Yeah, it's horrible, man. It has to do with these two little Japanese kids during World War II that they lose everything because of the war, and then it goes downhill. So yeah, it's just horrible.
Is it
horrible.
based? Is it like based in fact, or is it got like supernatural stuff that happens to him, or?
No. There's nothing. Well, I get the ending. I guess would depend on your outlook on spirituality, but prior to that, no. It's all It's very close to. I've not read anything that said it's based on a true account, but I'm sure situations like the story were very real. And the whole point of it was to, I guess, you can kind of tie it into Ukraine right now is, you get the sensationalism of the combat and, people's emotions and stuff, but you kind of lose that story of just like your average Joe. What happens to someone who's not a soldier, not caught up, children, or what, like this war of mine, it's more of a snapshot of civilians during that. And it's horrible. My gosh.
Interesting.
Don't watch it. I'm sad I plugged it just now. I shouldn't have. But no, it won and I tell you who did it. It's the same guy that did that. He does a lot of stuff. Is that Studio Chimley or whatever? It was
yeah,
he does a lot.
Yeah.
It was like one of his first films. It came out in the early 80s or something like that.
May have to look into that. I love a good sad story. So.
Oh, dude, man, it's Grave of the Fireflies.
All right. Well, real quick, I will plug the Facebook group again, facebook.com/groups/NextGen. No, I'm sorry, NGNW podcast. It's in the link in the description. I'm going to do better about putting timestamps in the videos so it makes things easier to find, because I know it's hard to watch an hour and a half long video. And if you're only looking for a very specific thing, I'm not really doing anything as far as streaming or anything like that goes. So you don't have to find me anywhere unless you want to send me trivia questions, because I didn't have one prepared. I thought I did, but I didn't for this week. But you can send those to me on Facebook or on Twitter at Meechflow. And finally, since some of these summer gaming announcements are starting to come out, I've officially changed the marketing team or stuff to our Summer of Gaming 2022. So we'll be sharing more about that, but it kicks off on June 12th with the Xbox Bethesda showcase, or earlier if someone goes, I want to go before Microsoft. But that June 12th technically isn't even summer, but that's what it seems to be. Everything's starting in June like usual. So it's like early summer, pre-summer, I guess. The pre-summer of gaming. Anyway, we'll have more to share as we get closer to that, but yeah, that's going on now. I'll have more information to share as it becomes available. But that's all we've got for this week. Thank you guys for joining us. Unfortunately, this is the third week in a row we don't have Michael to put out some shameful plug for something that just whatever that man comes up with his gigantic improv brain. I'm gonna make him make a list of random ass plugs so we can put them out on the show at the end of the week. But anyway, that's all for this week. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back next time with episode 90. We're slowly getting to episode 100 of this show. It's crazy. But until then, have a good week.